Hello everyone, hope you're doing great today. Welcome back to another live session with Think Higher. Today we have Rolf Baum from EIT with us, giving us a lot of information about the courses and programs and scholarships in EIT. Welcome Rolf, how are you today?
Hello, Armin. Good afternoon to you and to everybody that's listening through, and thank you for attending this afternoon session.
Well, Rolf, first of all, please introduce yourself.
Okay. To everybody, my name is Rolf Baum. I'm the International Recruitment Manager for EIT. I'm normally based in the Melbourne campus. We have two campuses, one in Perth and one in Melbourne. I'm normally based there, and I look after both international recruiting, but also the Melbourne campus. But today I'm over in our Perth campus for the week, doing some catch-up work with the teams over here. So you're coming live to us from Perth. I've been in this industry for more than 20 years. I've been lucky enough to travel quite extensively throughout the subcontinent pre-COVID, and we can't wait for the borders to come down so we can get back on the road again and both work with our partners like Think Higher, but also get in front and talk to students and their families again. So I bring to you a lot of experience both in this industry and especially with the engineering side.
Well, that's great, Rolf. So what we will do now, we will just wait for some more people to join in so that more and more people can be part of this informative session with us.
Fantastic. I think that's a great idea.
Think Higher Consultants. We are registered education and migration consultants, offer following services: student visas, admissions, change of course of provider, skilled migration visas, temporary activity visas, employer-sponsored visas, partner visas, parent visas, health cover for all types of visas, visitor tourist visas, business visas, NATI CCL preparation classes, professional year programs, IELTS and PT classes, coaching programs for new education and migration agents, and many more.
Contact Think Higher Consultants provide personalized and on-spot services leads to permanent visa pathways and Australian citizenship. Facebook/Think Higher Consultants. Twitter/Think Higher House. Instagram/Think Higher Consultants.
So welcome back, Ross. So first of all, I want to ask you about the EIT. So what is EIT? Please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. And before I start, can I congratulate Think Higher family. EIT is the largest private provider offering engineering-only programs. The on-campus model attracts students for our bachelor programs and also our master's programs. We're the only provider in the Southern Hemisphere in the private education space that offers engineering. Our key, I suppose, competitors would be the universities, because that's where a lot of the students think that you should be going to do an engineering degree or a master's program. However, with the forethought of our executive dean, we've put together both 4 bachelors and 4 masters in Perth and Melbourne campuses.
That's all right. So if we talk about these strengths, what are the strengths of EIT?
EIT traditionally or originally was an engineering training company. So about 40 years ago when we started the group, we were doing training for engineers across the world. We still continue with the training today. We have more than 140 global engineering companies that we either do face-to-face, online, a whole range of training organizations. Why is that important to the audience? We are industry driven. So from the front end of the training organization, it drives through the changes in the industry, new trends and nuances coming in, right through to our delivery model. 15 years ago, we got into the engineering online space, which was very new at the time. And about 3 or 4 years ago, we got into the on-campus model, where we now look at recruiting international students post-pandemic, of course, to come and study here in Australia and have that experience of both study and a cultural experience.
Well, that's the beauty of EIT then. And if we talk about the campuses, can you just give us more information about the campuses, the location and all?
Fabulous. two campuses, and I'll start with Perth, where I'm based at the moment. Perth is more your traditional university field type campus. We're out opposite Curtin University. Perth is in Western Australia, as a lot of people may not know. It's got about 1.4 million people here, and our campus is based opposite Curtin University in the grounds of Cannon College in an area called Bentley. Fabulous location. There's car parking, student accommodation. We get access to work with Curtin for some of their engineering, areas. But it's a really good feel for a student if they're looking for a smaller destination. On the other hand, where I'm based in Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane, your traditional capital cities in Australia, and where a lot of international students have either got aims to go or they've got relatives and friends who have been there. So we're based in Melbourne. Melbourne has a demographic of more than 100 kilometres radius, which means our campus that's situated in the middle of the city is a perfect location for any student to live anywhere around the residential area. We're in a city location. It's a commercial building, so we make sure the student understands that. But Melbourne is a hybrid. It's got about 6 million people now and growing quickly. So you've got an opportunity to look at either Perth with a smaller population and a much more broader layout, or a very industrial type city like Melbourne that's busy, a lot of people. And again, it balances up. And we know that a lot more students are looking at Perth as a destination. Why? Perth has just become a regional city. So it offers a student an opportunity to stay an extra little bit of time with their post-study. However, students may even choose Melbourne because of the demographic and the 6 million population and a lot more job opportunities. So we've got two places. We are looking at the future at other cities, but of course we've got to get through the pandemic, and then we'll look at Brisbane or Sydney and Brisbane in the next couple of years and see what that holds for us.
Yeah. So like we're talking about the location and campuses now. Let's just talk more about the staff there, the classrooms.
Yep. Okay, fantastic. So again, EIT is a smaller type organisation. We don't look at the 100 students per classroom. Our delivery model is based on maximum 25 students per class. Why? We want to engage directly with our students. And again, I'm just going to entertain this comment now. We offer bachelors and masters across our programs. And because we've only got a smaller, cohort, we want that personal face, contact with our academics. Melbourne, we have 2 academics and another one coming. We've got 2 LSOs, which is support officers for students on an academic side. And of course, we've got student services. So we're a team of 5 in Melbourne, and we're looking to grow post-pandemic. But over here in Perth, which is our core head office where we started 3 years ago with the on-campus, we have more than 60 people based over here. Lecturers, because we offer the 4 bachelors and the 4 masters here. So on the campus, we have a lot of array, and we've got all the support mechanisms as you would expect: student services, learning support officers, these LSOs, managers that the students can go and talk to. So EIT prides itself on the supporting students. That's why we're not looking for that critical mass of students coming into a program. Even though we're a commercial organisation and private, our whole philosophy is all about looking for the right student, giving them all the support they need during their studies, and then getting them out the other side with a proper graduation and the opportunity to get into the employment field pretty quickly.
That's fine. That's good. So you were just telling about the bachelors and
Oh, sorry, Armin, you cut out for a moment. So, do you want me to talk about the bachelors and the masters?
Yeah, so can you just explain about the courses specifically now?
Fabulous. I'll start with Melbourne. In our Melbourne campus, we offer 4 masters programs. EIT only has 4 disciplines across both campuses in engineering, and they're very technically based. So we have civil and structural, mechanical, electrical, and a new one that's called industrial automation, which it's not automotive, it's automation, robotics, mechatronics. It also involves chemical, petroleum, and 13 different areas all wrapped up into a new engineering course called industrial automation, which is the way of the future. So that's in Melbourne, 4 programs. In Perth, we have 4 bachelors and we have 4 masters. The 4 bachelors are in the same 4 streams again as the masters. Our bachelor programs, though, are a 3-year Bachelor of Science degree. So you become a technologist, and it's under the Sydney Accord. Whereas our master's programs, you're a professional engineer under the Washington Accord. And I'll talk about Engineers Australia as we get through the presentation. So yeah, if you want to do a bachelor, you need to look at coming to Perth. If you want to look at a master's, you've got your choice of the 2 campuses.
That's great. So about all the courses here, what are the basic entry requirements?
Okay, depending on what country you're coming from, and let me touch on the bachelor's first. To get into one of our bachelor programs, you need your country of origin year 12 equivalent, but we need maths as one of your subjects. So if you've done a commercial background in your year 12, you probably may not fit an engineering program. You need to come from that STEM type area, and you need to have mathematics. And it's relevant for most subcontinent countries that you need to have a minimum of 60% in your mathematics. If you've got a little bit less than 60%, we have we look at each individual application on its merit. Come back and talk to us because your physics might be stronger. There may be a reason your maths is a little bit below the 60, and we will always look at individual applications on its merit. But as a general comment, mathematics, 60% in your year 12 is what we're looking for. The English language program that we need is either an IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, and if you're looking at IELTS, it's 6.0 with no band less than 5.5. In the majority of countries, we will package if a student's got a little bit less in English with doing up to about 12 to 15 weeks of English as a package program. Can I also point out with the English, and I'll keep talking about our programs that are being technical, because they are very technical. What we need to look for in the English language area is they've got the reading and the writing, because as you would understand, in a technical program, you need to read a lot of technical journals, and then you start needing to write technical reports. If you've got a weaker discipline in listening and speaking, that's easier to upgrade your student, and we have English supporting classes along the way. Now, that's our bachelor programs. In the master's programs, we are looking for students with a minimum of a 4-year bachelor. In some countries, we will not take a student with any more than 14 backlogs. Now, when we talk about 14 backlogs, there is some opportunities where they've got up to 15, maybe 20 backlogs, because in some countries we know that students start off really poor coming out of their year 12, but then they excel in the end. And again, a lot of the time it's males, like us. Some of the time students want to resit subjects 1, 2, 3 times to get better scores. Again, we'll always look at individual cases on their merit. So if someone's got 18, 19 backlogs, and we see that they had a lot of those in the first or second semester, and they've done their 4-year bachelor, and they've excelled in the last 2 or 3 years, they would make a good direct entry student for us. We had a student the other day with just under 30 backlogs. And again, we knew if we took that student, they would not get through the first semester and they wouldn't pass. And we don't want to take their money for the sake of them not passing. So we are quite stringent in that respect. And please, to the audience, we're doing that for the benefit of the student. If we say no and we come back with particular reasons, it's because we've looked at and assessed the student, and we just don't think that they would be able to adapt to the program. They might be better doing an engineering management program, which is more commerce driven. So I'll reiterate, in the Masters, a 4-year bachelor, we just need a pass. We don't need any academic requirements at this stage. English there is 6.0 with no band less than 6.0. And the same applies. We can package with English, and we're looking for students that have good, strong English levels in reading and writing. And again, if I could just throw in there, we do have a doctoral program, which is based on looking at industry problems. So the doctoral program would be for a master's student who's got maybe have a little bit of work. Work is not essential, but are looking to come and do a doctorate in Australia. So there is an opportunity there as well. And that is a whole separate case where they've got to have an interview before they actually apply to make sure that they've got the right research component. They've got a sponsor, we've got an industry person, and we can go into further details about that.
Well, thank you so much for giving us a lot of information. We will just take a short break and be right back.
Okay, thank you.
Think Higher consultants offer the best PTE online training. Think Higher is the only PTE online training institute in Pakistan. We are #1 PTE online training institute, 5-star ratings and positive reviews, Australian-based qualified PTE and NADI teachers. Our students are achieving 80 and 86 score in PTE.
Contact Think Higher at pteclasses@thinkhigher.com.au.
Well, welcome back. We had a lot of information regarding the courses, the locations, even the staff as well. So we just talked about the entry requirement, but let's just move it further with the intakes. So how many intakes are available per year by EIT?
Okay, at the moment we have 2 intakes per year. One is in February and it's late February. So, and then the first week, this year it was the 22nd of Feb for orientation, and then the 1st of March for the start of the program. We then have a late July orientation with a 1st of August start date. I'll make a comment here, and it's not set in stone yet. If the borders look like opening after the July intake, so we get our vaccinations here in Australia done, some of the borders start to open, and we start seeing some international students coming back in, say, July, August, September, there could be an opportunity for us to put in a summer semester to welcome back some students into Australia and put them through a 3-unit summer semester. Now, that's just a comment it all depends on the borders. But again, keep in touch with Think Higher. We'll keep them updated with what happens with both the borders opening and what decisions we make. But traditionally for EIT, because we're a technical program, we have a February and a July intake.
Yes, definitely. Well, okay. So what are the benefits for students who choose EIT?
Thank you. Again, I'll cover a few things. A couple of things. We're very small and very personalised. We're industry focused on engineering only. That's all we do. We have a background with industry that leads right through into the delivery of the program. One thing that we're starting in July is an internship guaranteed with every application and student that comes and starts with us. A quick comment. With our programs being technical, a student has to do 240 hours of work integrated learning during their program, whether it be a bachelor or a master's. What we have found is the students who were going out into the industry and coming back weren't getting proper practical experience during the work integrated learning. So our executive dean here decided that what we would do is introduce an internship for every student from July onwards, included in the tuition fee. So you don't have to pay any more. It's now going to be included. We won't be doing the internship. There is a professional company here in Australia that is Victorian government recognised that we have partnered with. We hand the student to them. So in a bachelor, it's in the 5th semester. In the master's, it's in the 3rd semester. They will go to this company, which is a professional internship placement company. It's called Outcome.Life, based in Melbourne, but has reach all around Australia. They will interview the student and then look at it, giving them an opportunity to look at working in an industry that's based on their study. So if you're a civil engineering student, you'll be looked at a civil engineering company. If you're a mechanical student, we'll look at a mechanical type company. Where depending on what the company and the student needs, it's 6 weeks full-time or 12 weeks part-time. But it's a big USP that we can offer now that a student doesn't have to go out and pay extra for. Another USP that we can offer your students, our price point is about 1/3 less than our competitors, only because we're a much smaller organisation. For example, per intake or per semester, it's $11,700, which is about $2,800 per unit. So if you're doing a 2-year master's, it's about $48,000, and if it's a 3-year bachelor, it's about $72,000, which is about 1/3 less than our traditional competitors charge. So there's a good price point, up there. And we've got 2 campuses to choose from that are very, small, unique, personalised, that we can work the student through their programs. One more key USP that we can support a student with. Everyone has student support officers, which is traditional and looking after the welfare of the student. We've gone one step further and we put in what is called an LSO, a learning support officer. That particular person, and it's a person per unit, so every unit a student does, there is an LSO assigned to that unit. They assist the student when they're studying that unit during the semester. So they're there to try and, if the student needs to talk to the academic, facilitate the meeting. If they need assistance with getting onto the platforms, if they're running late with an assignment, if they're running late for classes and we know that their attendance level is getting a bit low, we need to push them a little bit. They're like a big brother, big sister scenario. But they're there to support the student, not do the work for them, but to support the students. One more USP, we have a relationship with Engineers Australia. So our bachelor programs are accredited with Engineers Australia, And at the moment, 2 of our 4 masters are, and the other 2 are in being assessed at the moment. What does that mean for the student? It means that at the end of their graduation, when they graduate, they will be under the Engineers Australia accreditation, which means they don't have to go out and get their skills assessment done after they graduate. It's not a necessity. A lot of universities don't have it, but we've decided it's a key USP. Along with Engineers Australia accreditation, we have Engineers Australia coming into our campuses at the beginning of each semester and also during the semester, because we offer the students the chance to enrol in the Engineers Australia student membership, which gives them access to corporate engineering companies, to technical journals, to social events. So it gets the students starting to be engaged with the industry from day one. And we encourage a student to join. It costs them nothing. It's part of the course. It's just up to the student to join and then start being proactive in getting involved in the industry. And again, we've had some students get jobs from that networks that they've created with this association. So again, we're engaging with industry to make sure that the student has every possible chance, not only of passing, but getting into industry at the end. And could I just go back to our internships? The way the internships work, Jared and the team from Outcome.Life give the student a whole lot of skills on making an impression in the company that they're placed in, so that that company would value that particular time the student was there, may offer them some part-time work, or may say, when you graduate, young man or young lady, please come back and see us. So there's a whole lot of support mechanisms that we're offering. Again, we're not the one size fits all. We've got much more personalised. Our executive dean, who owns our company, his whole mantra is about seeing his graduates in the workplace in the future. And that's our whole modus operandi in what we do, from the engagement to the online support that we also offer to the on-campus support.
Well, students must be getting all these amazing benefits. But if we talk about the graduates, what are the future opportunities they will be getting after graduating from EIT?
Again, engineering is one of those global jobs. So can I just maybe start by saying the great thing about Australia is at the end of your studies, you've got the opportunity to look at post-study work.
Yes.
With the internships and the way we work in a smaller organisation, we try and prepare the student for work after graduation. There's a lot of opportunities to be introduced to corporate companies. But again, the student has to take some responsibility here. We can't just hand a job to them on a silver platter. You will never guarantee a student a job. What our whole operation is about is preparing the student so that when they graduate, they will get into industry. Look in WA. WA has mining. With the COVID pandemic, construction and infrastructure is expanding in Australia like you wouldn't believe. My comment along these lines would be, we'll help the student prepare to graduate. We'll give them the tools to how to get jobs afterwards without offering them, place them in a job. But also look at staying in Australia and using that post-study work to get a couple of years of experience, either in Perth with your 3 years or Melbourne with your 2 years. Engineering, a lot of engineering companies have global organisations. There's a great chance from Australia to look at then expanding and going overseas, going back to your Pakistan, for example. I've spent many visits to Pakistan talking to the PEC, the Pakistani Engineering Council, to get them to recognise our programs. And we were doing that before the pandemic happened. But we do, again, because of our training organisation at the front end, we're actually working in Pakistan at the moment with some training that we do to some of the big companies that are over there that are in the engineering fields. But for our students, it's all about giving them every bit of support we can to get them to pass, giving them the skills to look for the jobs, and then hopefully they will get into jobs once they graduate. The last thing we want is our students graduating and driving a taxi. That's not what engineering's about. That's why we have a much smaller cohort of students, so we can be very personalised.
Well, Rolf, we will take a small break again, and we will be right back with more questions.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you.
Student visa. Is it your dream to study abroad, especially in Australia? Don't worry, we are here to assist you and guide you with your study visa process. Being MARA-approved professional education visa consultants, we ensure you with maximum support and supervision.
Contact Think Higher Consultants at thinkhigher.com.au.
Well, welcome right back, Rolf. So we discussed about the fee structure and everything. So are there any scholarships for the students?
Great question, because our scholarships are all about rewarding academic performance in their Year 12 or in their bachelor programs in their home country. when they're coming here. So yes, we do. We have at the moment 4 major scholarships ranging from a 35% scholarship down to a 10% Dean scholarship. For example, everything's on our website. It's very clearly articulated. Our 35% scholarship is based on a 75% academic performance average. The good thing about our scholarships, though, if you can keep that average up, that grade average, if you're awarded a scholarship and you keep the grade average up, the scholarship stays with you for the life of your course. So if you're doing a 3-year bachelor and you keep your 75 or above grade average when you're studying with us, it'll go into the next semester and then the next semester. But we haven't forgotten students who may not get a scholarship to come into the program, but perform very well within the program. We again have a range of 4 scholarships that current students, so not the new future students, but current students studying can apply for at the end of a semester when they get their results for next semester. So we're thinking about rewarding students internally who perform well but may not have got into the course with a scholarship. Coupled with that, we're very strong in women in engineering. A quick example, we've been working in Pakistan in Hunza. We've got 2 girls from Hunza who are looking at coming to us after the pandemic. We are very, very focused on women in engineering, and we've got a women in engineering specific scholarship, which is just your normal entry into the program, being the 60% or the 4-year bachelor. But you get, at the end of each year, you'll get a $5,000 grant that you can either use for, you take the cash and go, do something with it, or use for your tuition fees for the next semester. But you also get a mentorship program that's under the guidance of our executive dean, who is a female, and an Engineering Australia, fully recognised Australian person. And we've got more than 50% of our female lecturers are women. Sorry, 50% of our lecturers are females. So we've got a lot of support here. There's not enough women in our world getting into engineering, and we're trying to encourage more and more to come in. We also have some new scholarships coming online, which we'll present to you over the next couple of weeks. We're just waiting on the finalisation. Will be for the July and the February intake. So there'll be 2 more on top of what we've got at the moment. And one more thing that you can look at using with your students who are online, we have what is called a relocation grant. It's up to $2,000 and it's an airfare. So whether you're in Pakistan or whether you're in Sydney and Brisbane and want to come to Melbourne or Perth, you can apply for the relocation grant, which is an airfare, which we will pay for to get you from your home city to either Perth or Melbourne to start your course. If you're in Brisbane and you're applying to come to us in Melbourne and you want to apply for the relocation grant, every one of our scholarships are not self-awarded. You must go online, have a look at the scholarship so that we know that you've understood what it is. So we would like you to read the scholarship information, and then you have to complete the form. And again, if you're applying to us, you put in at the same time as the application, or we ask you put in as close as you can to when you've applied for our course. Because the 35% scholarship, as much as you can have a certain number of them, you can't give them away forever. But that doesn't say that if you give me a student that's got 90% and our scholarship at 35% is gone, we're going to turn that away. We're always looking to reward high quality students with the right scholarship, not forgetting students who may not get a scholarship. So again, we're trying to be very fair, but we do cater for students who want to look at scholarships as an opportunity from the academics that they've gained beforehand.
Well, all the viewers must be very happy with all these scholarships, especially women, and all the discounts EIT is providing. I just want to inform that 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐍𝐊 is also providing amazing discounts on different visa processes and as well as PTE classes. So we are providing unlimited PTE classes in just $699 with all the material access and online classes. So do call us today to get this amazing benefit. While moving further on, I just wanted to ask you more questions. So what is the procedure for onshore students who want to transfer to EIT internally?
Okay, we've been very lucky, and through good partners like 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐍𝐊, there are still students onshore that are now looking, because the pandemic looks like it could be slowly, there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of students who drop down from their masters and their bachelors to do a vocational course are now looking to come back again. If you're onshore and you've either done a bachelor and you want to start a master's, you've got your visa already that came to Australia, so you need to look at your current COE, who's it with, if you've got one still, the application form, your academics, so we can see that you come from an engineering background. Can I just say, being technical, we're very much in the hardcore area of engineering. We don't do software, for example. My friends at MIT in Melbourne and Sydney, they do telecommunications software engineering. So we benchmark with them, for example, but we don't deliver that software side. That's a very special area. Our strength is our technical side. So if you're looking for one of our technical courses, academics, the English, your current visa, the English you got into the country, which would be covered by your visa, we have a 5-question SOP that we ask students to complete. Why? We want them to understand that they've looked at the EIT website, so they know who we are, what we're offering, and it's quite simple. Complete those, send it in to us, and we could look at giving you a conditional letter offer within no more than 48 hours, but we've been very good lately at 24 hours.
That's great. We talked a lot about pandemic and borders being closed. So how COVID affected EIT?
Can I just say we've been a little bit shielded because our organisation, we've only been 3 years delivering on-campus model, and we're not dependent on that critical mass marketing syndrome that a lot of higher education providers require. And there's no disrespect there. We offer unique courses. So we're not offering business or MBAs, etc., where you need lots of numbers in your classroom because the price point's low, etc. So we've been a little bit shielded. We've also been very lucky because we have a training organisation. We've got an online model that's targeted at engineers, and we also have an invigilation software system that is also a commercial product. So those other 3 parts of our business have helped support and keep EIT continuing, to study. We were teaching online as students were going into the pandemic, especially in Melbourne when we were in lockdown. But remembering, we've had a 15-year experience in the online model. So our students who were on campus at the time when Melbourne shut down, for example, went straight onto the online mode because some of their lectures were already being delivered that way. Our software was set up for it. The whole structure of the program was set up. So the students felt little or no pain except they had to do it from home. We couldn't wait to get back, which we were back on the 4th of January into campus. And as I speak, we're back on campus teaching those that are still here face-to-face, and students that may have got a visa to come and study with us that are sitting in Brisbane, Sydney, Perth, maybe overseas, are beaming in live into Melbourne and into Perth where we deliver the units. And we're encouraging them when the borders stay open to come try and get here by the 2nd semester. So that, for example, to Perth or to Melbourne, so they're back face-to-face again. A lot of international students want that experience. I know I miss not being on campus, and I understand why. But as we come out of this pandemic and we get a handle on what we're doing, we've got COVID, plans in place. We've got QR codes, so we know where our students are on campus, etc. So that if anything happens, we have a duty of care to our students and our staff to be looked after. So we're looking, for 2nd semester to open up a little bit more as well. Back to your original question, yes, we've suffered from not a lot of students, which everyone has. But we've built some bricks and mortar around what we're delivering so that as we come out of it, we're ready, to grow again. And again, just if people don't know, in Melbourne, we're in a brand new campus location at 600 Collins Street, right next door to Southern Cross Station. So it's a great location for students. And if they're in Melbourne and they want to come and visit us, please come down and talk to Think Higher first, and then come down and see us at the campus. We'd love to show you who we are.
Well, Ross, thank you so much for this informative session and giving us your valuable time for this live session today. So at last, would you like to mention any point you think you missed, or any scholarship or discount you want to give to the viewers today?
I would just probably like to, and without sounding too supportive of Think Higher, which I very much am, I want to congratulate you for doing this. 2 things. One, you're engaging with the students, no matter where they are, and I'm sure we've got a big reach of students out there. Secondly, if you're interested in coming to EIT, contact Think Higher. If you want to talk to myself, Think Higher will put you in touch with us and we can do a 3-way conversation. But if you're a technical student and you want to talk to an academic who is technical, we are always open to do that. So please always feel free to contact the team at Think Higher. We'll organise for an academic to talk to you, because I'm not an engineer. I wish I was, but it's too late in life for me. However, if you're a technical engineer and you want to understand a bit more about what the courses are, what you're going to get from us, always feel free that we're happy to get our team to talk to you, and they'll be able to explain exactly what's going on. One thing I did forget, so that the students will know, in our master's program, it is a 2-year 4-semester program. There is 12 core units, and the final semester is a thesis. Why is that important to a lot of potential students? Why? We're going to start engaging with a project. So it starts preparing you for, if you haven't had work experience before, for the real world. In that last semester, you have to nominate a project and follow it through during the semester. You've got all the support around you, because in Melbourne we've got our first cohort of final master's semester students doing their thesis. They're only due in once a week on a Monday, but they've got to put together their thesis by the end, and we've got our academics supporting them, we've got sponsors supporting them, and we've got industry people supporting them as well. So we're very much engaged with supporting our students again. But again, Armin, thank you to you and the team. Great session. You ought to be congratulated for what you've done. I really applaud it. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I hope all the viewers enjoyed this live session today. So if you need any more information, please do call us today. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Stay safe.